Hey everyone, Miacidae here. Welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. So, today, on the No Hope Estate, we're gonna do one of the stupidest things I have ever done, but we'll see if it actually happens. It may not be stupid if it doesn't happen. I will preface that. So, we're gonna be going into the Warrens, because there's this lovely broken vase. It has the potential to be a good trinket. Minus 12 HP, not the biggest fan of that, but plus 33% guard duration and plus 25% riposte damage. If I get this, I will be getting rid of the minus stress on monster kill, because on the No Hope Estate we don't do healing, we don't do stress healing, and we don't do the stuns in the battle, so this would go against the rules and therefore I need to remove it. However, that's only part of what we want. What we're really aiming for here is something else entirely. So the plan is we're going to be going to the Warrens to 1. Get the trinket, 2. Complete the dungeon, but 3. We're going to be looking for the Head Hoarder. Now, if any of you remember what the Head Hoarder is, well, he's a tough fight, and we're going to be risking a really good trinkets and some really good heroes here, some of which I don't have duplicates for, and some really good trinkets which if we lose. You saw how well the Shrieker went last time. I don't expect to get that back, honestly. So, for those of you who don't know how to find the Head Hoarder, essentially we have to summon him. To do that, we have to have a vanilla head trinket on one of our heroes, which is this. Then we have to find a very special enemy which has been appearing rather easily in here. Then we have to essentially wait for that enemy to summon another enemy, and that enemy has to summon another enemy, and that enemy has to summon the boss. Then we get to fight the boss. If we fight the boss, he has some mechanics. Said mechanics are very, very scary, so we'll see if we can get through this. I'm assuming we'll be fine if we can get to the boss. That is the part I'm scared of. We'll see what happens. So let's have some fun. Party for today is Evelyn, because we're trying to level her up, and she's really good in bleeding areas, which the Warrens is. She's going to have Rip and Tear, minusing protection of stuff. This is actually going to come in handy. Blood is Fuel, doing single target damage and bleed on hit. Bloody Gust, AoE damage and AoE bleed. Rev up if I need to do extra actions, which will lower her max HP by 40%, but giving her an extra action. We have the Warrior's Bracer on her, doing +1 damage. And the Deserter's Crest, giving her +2 speed, plus 35% bleed amount. However, lowering her death blow resistance, so she only has a 40% death blow. We have Baldwin the Leper, who normally would have a very low hit chance, Chop only having 80%, Hugh only having 80%, and doing half damage of Chop. We also have Revenge, upping his damage, his accuracy, his crit, lowering his dodge, and upping his damage received. And we have Withstand. These are going to be the two moves that I'm kind of using while we're stalling. So Withstand giving him protection, Blight, bleed, debuff, movement, resistance, and marking himself. However, we have the Ancestor's Letter Opener, upping his melee accuracy and on hit bleeding. Also, if he's hitting anything that's bleeding, which we have the Ripperkin and the Houndmaster, so we will have bleeding targets, he will be hitting bleeding targets. Bloody Feather, plus damage versus bleeding, plus 15% damage if at least one corpse is there. We're going to have Lilac, the White Priestess, just because I wanted to use the Frida's Ring and the Lost Heirloom. We'll go over those in just a second. She has Abyss Keeper as her free action, which blights and marks. Dark Witch is her single target range attack, lowering protection. The Heretic is an AoE range attack, doing plus damage versus size 2. All this blights. Prayer if I want to do a Blight Steal. And Last Right to charge any of the attacks up. Frida's Ring gives her plus protection, enables a riposte, which can only go off once a round. And if it goes off, will damage all other enemies by 5, and all enemies will get a 2-for-2 blight. Because we have the Lost Heirloom, we have the set, so we gain a second riposte per round and minus 35% total stress. It also ups her max HP by 35%, ups her crit by 8. On any friendly skill, which is essentially Prayer, stealing the blight, she will guard the target, and on being hit will buff herself for 5 protection. And finally, we have Picard, the Houndmaster. Hound Rush, Hound Harry is an AoE bleed, Target Whistle if I want to mark anything, lowering your protection, and Guard Dog, guarding an ally, upping his dodge, Protective Collar, also upping his dodge, lowering his damage, and since we need a vanilla head, he has Bearstan's Head, upping his protection. So let's go have some fun. Alright, let's get through this. So I'm thinking risks life. We're going to go left, down, right, and we'll see what we can do from there. Gonna avoid the Crimson Court little guy here.
Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Oh, lovely. Well, Leper is gonna be worthless this fight. Hound Harry. Abyss Keeper hitting one Sycophants. Dark Witch. Yeah, we'll Dark Witch it.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Moving forward. Beat the Beast. Bloody Gust.
Confidence
One down.
as the enemy crumbles.
Second one bled out. Third one down. Hound. Nope. And Abyss Keeper. Guarding Ripperkin.
As the fiend falls,
Moving forward.
blossoms.
Go, Buggy, go.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Full party order. Taking crest, and we'll move on. Alright, trap should be Houndmaster. Torch up. Hunger check, and room battle with treasure. Well, nothing I want here. Feed the beast. Let his fuel onto the Skulker. Oh. Let's see here. If I do Hound Harry and hit the Skulker, which we didn't, Baldwin would have done more. Thinking chop onto the Spine Eater. Abyss Keeper to get the block off there. And then we're going to Dark Witch, hitting the Carrion Puppet. Getting it bladed.
Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Deep Blood is fine, that wears off on its own. Owie.
Blow to body and brain.
Alright, so I'm gonna try to AoE the Skulker down here. 3 misses in a row at like a 70% chance is not great. Let's do Abyss Keeper on the Carrion Puppet, getting it bladed a little bit more. And if I do Heretic, it'll blight for 3. Now let's just get it down. So it blights down.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Getting rid of the bleed. Hewing to try to hit the Skulker. At least we got that AoE, which damages everyone else. Thought it would. Hey Skiddo, am I reading this wrong? Other enemies take 5 damage. Where was that 5 damage? Am I reading that wrong? Anyway, bleeding this Bloodstarved Leech. We'll move on.
Cuts on its own.
I would just like to know, like, Is that a me thing? Am I the one misinterpreting that? In fact...
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Screenshot and question to the creator time, because I'm very confused. Okay, now that that's dealt with, we took a lot of damage, so let's see what we can do here. Because that's fight 1, we have all this to go. And if I have to fight the Head Hoarder like I wanted to, this is not gonna be good. Although that was... That was a surprise, so I'll give it that. But holy hell. Here's hoping we find a little more food and maybe scout, even though I didn't take like any scouting trinket. There we go. Ooh, secret room right there. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to this curio, or get this curio, go up to the secret door. Get whatever's in this, because I think I'm still missing Dismas's head after all is said and done because of some of my stupid shenanigans. Go to the right. Get all this, go down, do this fight, because, once again, looking for the Head Hoarder. While we're doing that, then, curio, go left, go right. I think that sounds like a plan. I mean, trapezohedrons are trapezohedrons. Oh, they don't stack. Oh. Okay. What are the chances I'm gonna run into food? Pretty high. We'll just do that for now. Baldwin, as long as you're not getting surprised, you're doing the most damage. So let's get the damage up on you. Disarm trap, get stress down, torch up, and we go. Then down we go to the battle. So I don't know what's over here yet. No surprise, but also no Fleshling. So let's just do a bunch of damage, taking out the drummer here, doing a little bleeding damage to the chopper, Hound Harry, get them all bleeding. Drummer goes on next turn? This turn, okay. Abyss Keeper on Spine Eater to get the Blight on it. But then we're gonna Dark Witch the Wretch. Then I think Baldwin can heal and possibly take out the Chopper. No, he's gonna go down to bleed, so just Spine Eater. He's got the Aegis, but also has 3 Blight already. Okay. So this fight's already essentially won. So let's have some fun here. She can't hit row 1, but she can do this.
This expedition at least
Healing up.
Success.
Torch is right there.
in radiance.
Gonna take the onyx over the 2 torches there, and we'll continue on.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Hey, another Skulker. Feed the beast. Gonna see if I can't get him down first, which should be pretty easy. Now I need 2 damage on him. Abyss Keeper on the puppet, which we missed. And then we'll Dark Witch. And we'll Heretic these 2, which also missed. Okay, cool. Hound Harry, get them all bleeding. And we missed most of that. Well, at least the puppet's down. Figured he would skitter, and then he bleeds out. So just the slashers left.
Death waits.
Which hurt.
The slightest lapse in concentration.
At least we got that riposte on him. So let's hit the one in row 4. And then we can Dark Witch them. Which he blades out now. And we can Blood as Fuel on 3. And miss them.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
They don't have that much dodge, really.
Executed with impunity.
When the leper hits, but not the Houndmaster, I think we have an issue.
To the task's end.
Yeah, screw the invitation for now. And I won't take the trinket, it's just DBR, which is a myth. Okay, Houndmaster trap. We'll see what we can do. Torch up.
Light. The promise of safety.
There's a scout.
A fortune.
Yeah, we can leave the money for now. We've got the 3 Trapezohedrons here, so I mean, that's good for money. Ooh. You know, let's put this one on Evelyn. That way we have 2 people doing a lot of damage. So this way, even if we get a shuffle on us, which we probably won't now, we have a lot of ways to deal damage. And a lot of it. I have like... I suppose I have more than 2, but not very good past 2 chances. Hey, collector buddy.
Eyes of youth, twisted and made mercy.
So feed the beast. Get Chainsaw Snake up. How stupid do I want to be? Because if he goes into 4, I'm going to have a problem. Rev up. Because if he goes into 4, I'm going to have a problem. So he's bleeding for 8. I'm going to save the last rites, but we can Abyss Keeper into Prayer guarding Baldwin. Hound Rush, because we didn't mark, we're not doing extra damage. And then Chop. He bleeds out.
A predator is often blind.
4th Trapezohedron. We can get rid of the key. And now, I hit the trap. Lovely. Let's get rid of that. Cure the bleed. 1 hunger check left. I haven't found any food. Just a Lich hanging there in the background. No big deal. This is what we're looking for. Okay. Now we just gotta survive. Blood is fuel, kill the Carrion Eater.
Annihilated.
And that's actually going to be the trick, is surviving. Especially with the fact that we have that riposte. Abyss Keeper, let's take out the Spine Eater. And then actually let's Dark Witch him.
Precision and power.
Hound Rush hitting the Skulker. Chop, Spine Eater down. Go ahead and heal up, little guy. There we go. I can get rid of Fleshling. Slayer is here. Also, Blood is fuel, Skulker goes away. Okay, we can do this, we can do this. Abyss Keeper, Fleshling. Guarding Baldwin for now, just because I don't want him taking the damage. And we have a little bit of protection there. I'm going to withstand on Baldwin because I can one-hit the Fleshling. And taking the Fleshling out, it bleeds out, or blights out on its turn. Unless it does that. Taking Fleshling out. I need the Flayer to summon. I'm gonna have you guard the Ripperkin. Revenge, so you do more damage. Actually, how long is that for the entire battle? Yeah, we're gonna Revenge. And Revenge is for one battle as well, so keep guarding. I think he does his summon. Yeah, start the hunt. Here we go. Vanguard is here. Vanguard is here. Get rid of the Flayer. Flayer bleeds out. Let's Abyss Keeper so the Flayer goes down easier. Blighting and marking him. Then guarding Baldwin again.
A death by inches.
Guarding the Ripperkin.
A brilliant
And then he can just pass.
and purpose.
Passing turn. Guarding Ripperkin, upping dodge. So he has 57 dodge now. Come on, we got this. Do your thing, guy. Do your thing. I'm waiting on it. Prepare reflexes. Oh, that's his turn, so he got a riposte. Bring forth the Hoarder. Here we go. 132 health. Full heal on the Vanguard. Okay. How do we do this? How do we do this? Because I need to rip and tear the Head Hoarder down. No bleed or blight resistance. We can do this. Okay, okay. So we're going to be really stupid. And blood is... Yeah, we'll just blood is fuel. He doesn't have protection. Hit for 20. Bleed for 4. Guard broken. He can't be guarded. Guard dog. That way Evelyn can't be hit. He's being guarded. Abyss Keeper, marking him for later. And then we're going to last rites. Doing more damage with Dark Witch. Yeah. Bladed for 7, bleeding for 4. Chop, Head Hoarder up to 59 damage before crit. There we go. And he misses. Blood is fuel again. Abyss Keeper. Dark Witch'em. Bleeding for 9, bladed for 9. What do you mean blood returns to its normal flow? Okay. Anyway, if he hits the Head Hoarder, it goes down.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened.
Now we just have the Vanguard to deal with, who has that riposte that can be a bit nasty. Bladed for 2. And it's down.
Singular strike. A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Had to take a screenshot of that for someone. Okay, so we can keep going. I'm going to take everything I can. I totally even forgot about the dog treats there. So the reason this gives so many trapezohedrons, by the way, and so much money, is that the Head Hoarder has an ability that if he goes on long enough, and he's supposed to be a very hard fight, by the way, he can stun, and I think he can do a 2-turn stun. He'll go into a mode where he prepares an offering, and he won't do an attack that turn. And when he does prepare an offering, he bypasses death blow resistance his next attacks. So if he hits you to 0, your hero dies. There is no check. So that's why I was a little leery. I wasn't giving him an option to hit me if I had the chance. Once again, like, I know I toyed around with him there. It looked really, really easy. He is not an easy fight. By no means is he an easy fight. And I also had 2 people that do very high damage that had plus 50% or plus 30% damage until camp. I thought she had plus 30% damage until camp as well. So that might be a thing that's still on her. It's just not showing correctly. And I hit the wrong button and lost the trapezohedrons. Lovely. Oh well. We're going to camp here and go down to this last little bit.
Moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
So that's going to be Hound Watch, Man's Best Friend, Therapy Dog, and Reflection for the accuracy and the crit.
As the light
So I was going to do that and then take the trapezohedrons, but I misclicked escape
purpose is made clear.
because I'm twitchy today. Alright, feed the beast. Bloody Gust hitting both of them, bleeding them. Hound Harry bleeding them. Abyss Keeper getting rid of Aegis. Dark Witch blighting, doing some damage to the Carrion puppet. And then we're going through Hue, damaging both of them. Finishing the job. And looks like that isn't a money, Kirio, so we can get out of here.
That overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
So knowing that I didn't get like 10,000 gold that I could have picked up there because of a twitchy escape finger, let's see how much we got.
Impossible.
$26,000 gold, 30,000 gold because of the reward. We got the broken base. I'm happy with that. On top of some much needed heirlooms to upgrade everything. Evelyn hit level 3, Baldwin hit level 2, and the others are level 1. Hardy on Evelyn is also helpful for plus 4 max HP, just flat 4.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
And let's see here. Let's get rid of a few of these quirks on Lilac that I was planning on getting rid of just because misses a spot in flawed release. And then we'll throw some other people in the sanatorium later. I think we have everyone there. The Unstable Flesh is now available there, which giving Murderer's Mask for the Bounty Hunter is kind of cool. So a lot of good bonuses there for what it does. And otherwise, it would mainly just be going around there. And if I went and did the Unstable Flesh, I could honestly just save up for both of the busts. Or both the things for the busts that I want. And just kind of continue from there. So I could maybe see about going to fight him and just really rip and tear him apart. And I think it would be kind of easy-ish if I went about it correctly. And I could get rid of some Crimson Curses, which would help me long run as well. So I might go do that. So I think what my plan is for next time, because I'm not seeing any good trinkets that I really want. So I'm going to go fight the Unstable Flesh. It's going to give me the Murderer's Mark Mask, which is really good for the Bounty Hunter, plus 25% damage, plus 100 crit versus anything below 40% health. So I think that's going to be the plan for next time. We'll go and fight the Unstable Flesh. I have a few heroes set aside for him, and we can get a few Crimson Curses off as well, I think, if I'm looking at this correctly, and hopefully go from there. So like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz, and otherwise, as always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time, and please, have a good one.